find another like me. I know that I'm a handful, baby. You know I never think before I jump, and you're the kind of guy the ladies want. And there's a lot of cool chicks out there. I know that I went psycho on the phone. I never leave well enough alone, and trouble's gonna follow where I go. And there's a lot of cool chicks out there, but one of these things is not like the others. Like a rainbow with all of the colors. Baby doll, when it comes to a lover, I promise that you'll never
Warm welcome to you all, dear students, dear parents, dear teachers and colleagues. We're all very happy to welcome you to this EDHEC Celebration 2023, whether it be in person or remotely for those who've been unable to attend today, but who are present with us via streaming. We're delighted to welcome back our students from the class of 2023 from the Global Business and Business Management courses in Lille and Nice. And this is the first time, and you can see here, that a ceremony of EDHEC International BBA has brought together all of our students, whatever their home campus, their teachers, and also the administrative teams. Nous sommes ravis d'accueillir tout le monde ici aujourd'hui. Toutes les personnes qui font partie.
Brings together all of our BBA students, regardless of their campus, their home campus, their professors, and the staff members who supported them during their studies. Alors, ne vous inquiétez pas, je ne vais pas.
Don't worry, I'm not going to do the ceremony in 2 languages because we do have an interpreting service today. Now, the duration of this ceremony The duration of this ceremony will be about 2 hours, and as I said, there will be simultaneous translation and headsets have been made available to you.
Are hearing us in English, there is a simultaneous translation, and headsets have been provided. Enfin,
Now finally, I'd also like to reassure you there are a lot of professional photographers here to cover the event, and we will give you access to all of the different shots after the ceremony. Now, without further ado, I would like to ask the 2 directors of the Business Management Programme to join me on the stage. The directors of Lille and Nice, Jean-Christophe Meffredi and Bernard Curzi. And by my side, I'm delighted, more specifically, to be with the students for Global Business. A warm welcome. A warm welcome to all of the community of students and parents for the EDHEC International BBA. I'm delighted to see you all here today for the very first time in history of the program. So a fraternal welcome to all of the students who followed either entirely or partially their studies on the campus of Nice. Now, we really are delighted to have you all here with us today for this ceremony, which ends your studies here for our program, whether you started it in the campus of Lille or on the campus of Nice. I think I've heard quite a lot of noise here from the students in Nice. Now, are the loyal students here? Thank you very much.
Business track, we are delighted to see you again after 3 years since you were last at EDHEC. Please, a show of hands from you.
Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you very much to your parents as well. So, dear students, even though we're convinced that you've already had the opportunity to thank your parents, we would like once again enable you to thank all of those who accompanied you, who supported you during your years of studies, who helped you with your choices, maybe even sponsored you in more ways than one. And we're going to ask you to stand up, if you don't mind. Please stand up, everyone. Turn yourselves round to face your parents. And give them a round of applause, because they deserve it.
Nous vous remercions.
Thank you very much, students, and thank you very much to all of your parents as well. Thank you very much for having allowed you to study here for these years with EDHEC. Thank you, Jean-Christophe and Bernard. So I'll leave you to go back to your seats. And now I'm delighted to welcome our Director General, Emmanuel Mété. So a little bit of an intimate ceremony today. 2,500 people here, 700 people online, and each name that you saw coming down on the screen there was obviously the most important name for all of you today. Ladies and gentlemen, dear professors, colleagues, dear members of the EDHEC staff, dear Antoine, dear parents, very soon graduates, dear friends, obviously it is an immense pleasure for me to be able to welcome you here today on this magnificent EDHEC campus with a Lille weather situation. As you can see, it's not usual here. I know that some of you have come from far away, so thank you very much to all of you for coming here today and for being with us. And I'm going to start by obviously congratulating all of our students, but I'm a father as well, and I mustn't forget to congratulate all of the parents, because one success doesn't go without the other. Now, a graduation ceremony is always quite a difficult time, because it's a time where we've got generations who are going to hand over to the next generation. And so it's a time when the past and the future come together and interact in a very moving way. Now, to talk about the past, I'd like to talk to you about someone who was my predecessor, called Olivier Auger. It might mean something to some of you. You might have heard it before. Olivier came to the school in 1989. He was the director. He left in 2017. He's the president of a bank today. And not so long ago, I was talking to him, and we were saying to each other that both of us, or neither of us, are actually graduates from EDHEC. And we said to ourselves, you know, why is this school so different, and what is special about it, and why do we feel so strongly about it? Now, I could talk to you about so many things. I could talk to you about the humanistic aspect of the school that a lot of our graduates identify with. I could talk to you about the commitment of all of the people who work for the school, whoever they may be, the staff, the professors. People are very much committed for our students, and it's quite impressive when you see what happens here. I could talk to you about the international dimension of the school, 10,000 students, a third of the students who come from 100 different countries. And maybe what came to the fore in our discussion was that it was something that was deeply in the DNA of the school since it's been created here in 1906 by industrialists from the north of France. And it's the fact that we really do have a business spirit. There's the freedom in the school, its independence, the fact that taking a step sideways sometimes because we want our students to do the same thing. We don't want them to do things like everybody else does. Olivier Auger, when he took over at the head of the school in 1989, some of you might remember that, the very first thing that he did was to jump in an aeroplane, probably Air Inter at the time, to go to Nice. Why Nice? Well, because the board had just taken the decision to build a campus in Nice. Now, it seems obvious today when you look at what Nice has become, and we heard people shouting, all those who'd been to Nice, but back in the day, it was absolutely amazing. It was madness. No other school in France had ever done anything like it, and it was the very first time. And Olivier admitted to me, and I can say so now, I think, that he really didn't believe in it at the time. And look at what we've done with it. Look at what we've done. Now, I could talk to you about the Bachelors and the program that you're going to be receiving the diploma for very soon. We opened it about 40 years ago because there was a real demand coming from the companies in the north of France. And something quite special as well, you might have heard in the news that there's a French school located close to Paris, which 40 years later said, that's not a bad idea. 40 years before everyone else, we did it. I could talk to you about what goes on internationally, where in France a lot of schools are going abroad and we see their students abroad. Yes, we're in London, Singapore, but to do research, not to send our students there. What was the point of sending our students to EDHEC campuses on the other side of the world? No, we work with NTO, we work with UCLA, Berkeley and others, MIT, and we welcome students who come from throughout the world. So if maybe there's something that you can keep close to your hearts in the years to come, it would be the entrepreneurial spirit of EDHEC, that fact that we always do things slightly differently so that we're not like everyone else. And I think that you're going to need that, given the world that awaits you, given the future that awaits all of us. And so I'd like to now talk about the future, talk about the world that awaits you. When I was your age, if I come back to the past in a way, when I was your age, the main thing in the news was that the Berlin Wall was coming down. It was incredible to think of it. And we all thought, and a lot of philosophers at the time and historians thought that it was what we call the end of history. We thought that after the confrontation between the two blocs, the communists and the West, we thought that the West had won. The West had taken over, that the world was going to become globalized. We were going to be one big global village, taking inspiration from Western democracy. And then, since the end of the 90s, we've seen that not that's happening at all. We see that the world is becoming less and less globalized, and the dean that I am of an international school has to travel to lots of international schools as well to visit them, to audit them. And I see, and I've seen over the last few years, that there are schools which were great international brands, and they're starting to become more internal, looking at themselves. They're removing their international impact because of inflation, because of nationalism, because of protectionism. And there are some countries now have quotas of the number of foreign students who can attend their schools. And when the school no longer has foreign students, then it limits its ambitions, it limits the quality of the network that the students can have, and it limits the quality of the teaching that can be provided as well. And that's the world today. I could talk about climate change, I could talk about technology, I could talk about ChatGPT, I could talk about social justice. You know that France is the third country in the world in terms of the number of millionaires. The first is the US, secondly we've got China. We are the third country in the world in terms of the number of millionaires, and that's great. Probably some of you will become millionaires one day. It's great to have millionaires who create an added value and create jobs, but it's also important to realize that 2/3 of humanity lives with under $10 a day. And that's the world that awaits you. Now, obviously, the speech today would be, well, you've got to transform that world outside, but you're going to have to transform it. And in EDHEC, our belief that make an impact that you can see displayed over there is the fact that business and companies have got to be a solution so that we can solve all of these major problems for humanity. We have got to be there to serve the future generations. Now, I'm going to conclude with that, give you some news about your school, some decisions that illustrate this desire that we have to have an impact and to serve future generations. I'd like to insist on the fact that your professors, since 2020, have multiplied by 2 the number of publications, scientific publications, so that we can better understand the world in which we are working and committed to. I could talk to you about the fund, the venture fund that we're going to be creating, an investment fund so that we can invest in startups for EDHEC, which are what we call responsible by design. So they're startups which, from the onset of their creation, are obviously going to be out there for a market, but they're going to be there as well so that they can solve a problem for humanity and for society. And that fund will be there to serve the EDHEC Foundation so that it can finance research and also funding for students. There's also the Global Impact Project, the possibility which will be offered to all of our students. For those who want to validate their international experience, either they'll be able to do an internship or have an exchange, or they'll be able to have humanitarian experience. We've signed agreements with NGOs throughout the world. And then I'll conclude with 25 million euros, which we're going to be spending and investing in a research center for climatic finance, because finance is one of the specialities of EDHEC, amongst others. It's one of our major specialities, and we want finance to serve fighting climate change. So you're leaving a school which wants to have an impact, wants its graduates to have an impact and serve the future new generations. You're leaving a school which is in a good condition at the moment. The last ranking that I could mention would be the Financial Times, the best European business schools. In the last ranking of the Financial Times of the best European business schools, we were the 7th. That's our best ranking since it's existed, and I'm counting on you to make sure that not only it lasts, but that it improves as well in the years to come. I'd like to conclude with a quotation. There's always one in this type of graduation. Albert Einstein, when he spoke about education, and meditate on this, given the world in which we are living today. Albert Einstein said, he was talking at the University of New York about education, and he said, education is what remains when we have forgotten everything that we learnt at school. So, well done, and enjoy the rest of the celebration. It's now time to present the EDHEC Student Awards. Now, this is a sequence in which we celebrate graduates for the personal qualities that have led them to make an outstanding contribution to the life of the school in areas that represent EDHEC's values: innovation, impact, and commitment. First of all, I'm going to ask Benoît Arnaud to join me, Director of EDHEC Programs, if he'd like to come and join me to present the trophies. And I'd also like to call Bernard Curzi. I'd like to invite him to join us. He's from the campus in Nice. Accompanied by Laurence. Students, the attention we pay to them their success are the raison d'être of a school. So an event like this one, which is the crowning achievement, is like no other. And even more so today, as this is the very first time that an entire class has come together. The EDHEC Celebration Day for me and for all of us is always a moment of great emotion and of pride. And I'm really delighted to be able to experience it again with you today. We've all been the privileged witnesses of your development from the first steps at EDHEC, but also of a metamorphosis, and that's no exaggeration. Think back to who you were when you joined us at the age of 17 or 18, and consider what you have become today. This ceremony gives you the opportunity to take a step back and remember the lessons, the courses, the encounters, the experiences that have contributed to your professional and personal projects. And I can't forget the friendships that were forged, often for life, the mutual aid, the solidarity, the one for all and all for one in times of adversity. We've come a long way since Daegu, Louisville, Sapporo, Tbilisi, the 4 groups of your first BBA EDHEC cycle in Nice. And I would also like to pay tribute to your parents. I would like to simply say thank you. Thank you for entrusting us with the precious responsibility of guiding, teaching, and inspiring your children. I know what the doubts, worries, and sacrifices must have been at times, but today they've been swept away by joy and pride, and I only need to see you, ladies and gentlemen, to understand your emotion, because your children's success is also your success. I'd also like to thank your teachers and all the teaching staff. Thank you to all of you. Dear students, you owe to them the road you've traveled, with all of the obstacles you've overcome, the support of committed people who have never stopped believing in you. Your lessons, the people you've met, your experiences in companies and abroad, all of these things have shaped you. They've broadened your horizons, and they've stimulated your critical thinking. But beyond that, we've also aimed to instill values in you. And these are the same values in which we believe, and which will make you, tomorrow, responsible and committed citizens, each contributing in your own way in making the world a better place. Nelson Mandela wrote, "Education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world, and our ultimate goal would thus be achieved." Now, allow me to deliver a few final messages. I promise there will only be a few last messages. So first of all, don't try to be like anyone else. Be yourself. Find the job that suits you, the one that will give meaning to your life. Don't be afraid to stray from the path, and if possible, even go where there isn't one and leave your mark there. Don't be afraid to fail, because every failure is a lesson that will bring you closer to success. Continue to feed your thirst for knowledge and cultivate your curiosity. Your open-mindedness, agility, and ability to listen will be your best assets in tackling tomorrow's world. Don't neglect your family life, and seek the right balance with your professional life, because it's from this balance that you will draw all of your strength. And then finally, I'd like to invite you to give back what you've received, and perhaps also give what you would have liked to have received yourself. This 7th of October marks the epilogue of a shared history that goes right back to the 9th of September 2019 for the students from Nice, which was the date of our first back-to-school General Assembly. Now, the very next day, during the Integration Day, you created a fresco which was divided into several canvases. Now, this is the fresco. You haven't seen it yet in what you actually produced. This is what it looks like. This is the fresco that you all worked on. I'm saying this for your parents and for the whole EDHEC community. Each group of stars in this galaxy corresponds to a fingerprint of the 450 students from the Business Management and Global Business course on the campus of Nice. 450. Dear students, you're joining the EDHEC galaxy, and I hope that you will enrich the EDHEC alumni community. But for now, savor, enjoy this little moment in life with all those who've accompanied you during your studies and who are at your side. Once again, I would like to thank all of the teachers at the EDHEC BBA and the staff in the various departments who contributed to your success. I'd also like to thank all those who spared no effort whatsoever in organizing this ceremony today. It was a pleasure and an honor for me to accompany you with the entire EDHEC International BBA team. I wish you a long and happy life and a wonderful ceremony, everyone. So, EDHEC student engagement for the Business Management course on the campus of Nice. I would like to call upon Miss Sarah Vitrani and Alois Herman, if they would like to join me, please. Sarah, now, as everyone knows here, you're a student who's very committed, very motivated, very committed for the integration of international students, especially with your association called the Foodies. You have always had an attitude which was very constructive and positive, with a lot of commitment to all of the services, whether it be the Study Abroad Office, the Career Centre. Sarah, I don't know if you'd like to say a few words. Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Mrs. Zampellini, Mr. Curzi, and all of the teaching and academic teams here in EDHEC. Thank you very much for awarding me this prize. It's so strange to speak in front of so many people, but it's got to be done. It's true that the road wasn't easy, because creating an association during lockdown in 2021 based on gastronomy and food wasn't probably the best time. And this experience required a lot of rigor, a lot of passion, but also I had to believe in the project, the Foodies. Hand in hand, whether it be with the administrative help and financial help of Madame Ducollet or Madame Stumpf, the jams that were made by us were distributed on the campus. The Erasmus students were able to discover food from Nice, and everyone from EDHEC was able to come together to eat a good meal together. This prize represents all of the people who contributed to the life of the Foodies in whatever way it was, and also to all of the other students who did as much as they could so that their associations could exist as well. And then finally, the commitment wasn't only in terms of the association, as far as I'm concerned. For example, some people were committed in it, making us laugh for 4 years, and were able to do so right through till the end. So well done to them. Thank you for making us laugh. And we are all committed we were committed to obtaining this diploma, which is why we're here today. Parents and students, I think we can be so proud of what we've accomplished. Let's enjoy today, and congratulations to everyone. Aloïs, now, you arrived in the third year, and in just 2 years at EDHEC, you really have made a name for yourself in many ways. Very quickly, you were remarked by the Career Centre and the Study Abroad Office, and you helped so many students throughout the time that you were at EDHEC. You were a devoted student, a very serious delegate throughout the course. So, Aloïs, I don't know if you have a few words that you would like to say. So, dear teachers, members of the boards, EDHEC students, and all of those from Nice. First of all, I would like to thank all of the jury for having given me this prize. I'd also like to thank Mrs. Zamperini, who has always left her door open to all of the students and at all times. So a round of applause for her. As you will have understood, it's an honor for me to be here in front of you today, and I'm still nostalgic about when I joined EDHEC in the third year. I came with a full suitcase and a full heart, and I learned that commitment wasn't an option, but it was necessary. A few weeks ago, Mr. Curzi asked me to say what I thought about this and talk about my experience within EDHEC, and I can't speak, I don't think, on behalf of anyone else, but I'm going to say us for the rest of my speech. Now, individuals come from all over the world each year with ambitions, values, and very different stories. But the magic that has been happening here since 1906 has meant that everyone is here in this school sharing the same values. EDHEC is also for us a question of internships, teachers, challenges, stressed parents, and victories to celebrate, shared laughter, ideas shared, dreams decided on and forged, and limits that were overcome, with business games, revision in teams. But above all, having muffins with Nutella, looking at the sea. Yes. Those of you from Lille, you can be jealous of us. I'm sorry. In Nice, it was wonderful. We all experienced a fantastic course, and to summarize it in a couple of minutes is very, very hard. So I think it's time for me to leave the comfortable chair I have in EDHEC to go to the Sorbonne, and I will leave Edwin and Bortlin finish my speech, because innovating is not a question of new ideas, it's to stop having old ideas. Thank you very much. See you on Monday morning, everyone.
Merci.
I'd now like to call upon, for the campus in Lille, Jean-Christophe Meffredi, if he'd like to come up by my side.
Ainsi que
And Valentina La, who works here in Lille.
Chers étudiants,
Dear students, or rather, dear former students, well, here we are. For 4 years now, you started here 4 years ago. You started your track here at the International BBA. What a pleasure it is to see you all here again today, whether you joined our French track or our English track. It's the first time that we have welcomed all of our students in one place, all of the students from the different tracks and campuses. But the class of 2023, of which you're part, is in fact the first to distinguish between students who were able to choose English or French and who did their undergraduate studies either entirely in English or were able to combine the two languages whenever they liked. And you're also the first promotion to have had non-French speaking students in our program. Today, from these two words, I wanted to say how proud I was as the program director to have worked with you and to have worked for you as well during your years of study. On behalf of the entire teaching staff and administration of our school, I'd also like to say how proud we are of you and of everything that you've achieved over these last years. I still remember the first time we met, when you chose to join us. You were curious, full of desire, ready to develop your knowledge and your skills, ready to get down to business, really eager to get involved in academic, professional and community projects, and to take up the challenges that awaited you. You discovered your career plan during a course, in discussions with one or more of your teachers or a placement supervisor, and you gradually went into more detail. You worked very hard, and for some of you, maybe it was a little less intense, maybe less immediate as well. Well, let's say that everyone managed at the end. You were confronted with difficulties that also enabled you to gain immaturity and experience too. You have now acquired knowledge and skills, including those famous soft skills that we've tried to develop in you, all of which are essential because they are perfectly in line with the needs of companies today. You're now ready to take on the challenges that await you. But beyond the academic aspect, I hope that you really enjoyed your time here on our benches and the very good times that you had, which I hope eclipse some of the more intense and or difficult periods that you may have encountered. And in Lille, at the beginning of the year, I know that you found friendships that will be sincere and lasting. And as in previous years, I think you'll remember with nostalgia all of the friends that you've made here, your classmates, your association friends, your teachers, and the administration, and that all of this will make your BBA your second family. You're now members of a community of alumni who share the same values and aspirations, and who are all ready to help you and support you throughout your career. Finally, I'd like to wish you all the best for your projects. We're all looking forward to seeing the great things that you're going to achieve in the very near future. And don't forget that success cannot be measured solely by the profits that you generate for yourself and your company. It's a finance professor who's telling you this, but also by the impact that you'll have on people, organizations, and more generally on the world around us, which you yourself will leave to your children. So I wish you all the best for your projects, and I'd like to give you a little bit of advice to close my speech. When I prepared my speech, and as the DG said, very often we look at quotations, and I remembered one that I had and used when I was a student. Now, some people might say that that was a few years ago, and I'm going to reassure myself by saying that it enables me to maintain a good memory. But in terms of the difference between effectiveness and efficiency, and I can only cite and quote Drucker, efficiency is doing things right, or effectiveness is doing the right things, efficiency is doing them right. And we hope that this will help you in the future to be efficient and effective. So believe in yourself, shape and follow your dreams, and take control of your future. I'd like to call upon, for the EDHEC Student Engagement Awards, Loris Colissimo and Joris Valsamis.
Hi, Drogos. How are you? Please.
Now, the first trophy is given to Loris. Since he joined our program, Loris has been enormously involved in our school and involved with his fellow students, very invested in the sports committee, president of the sports committee. In the second year, he played a key role in helping the student life department to revitalize sport during the COVID period, but he also forged links during a very difficult period with his fellow students. He was also a fantastic captain of our tennis team, and the team qualified for the final phase of the French ESC Cup. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you also returned with the title of Vice Champion France, and yeah, a round of applause. Well done. And as our sports manager said, Stéphane Planck, as he pointed out to me because I was talking to him about this earlier on, Loris is a fantastic example of all of the values of sport. And it's over to you, Loris. Just 2 minutes. That's the amount of time that I've been given to try and summarize these 4 years. I started here in Roubaix on this grass. Now, the sun and the beach in Nice must be nice as well. I can't deny that. But remember, you know, we had our first integration day. And if I think back to that, I think it'll remain in our memory forever. And on that day, I don't think we imagined how the adventure was going to be and how it was going to really strike us throughout our lives. And I don't think that then we imagined all of the people we're going to meet, and we didn't imagine it was going to be so intense. And I'm sure that here in the room today, a lot of you are sitting next to your future best man or maybe future husband or wife. All of these meetings and times we've spent together enabled us to seize every opportunity that the school offered to us, and there were so many of them, whether it be via the associations, the sports teams, the working groups. EDHEC enabled us to become committed and to join a group of people and team and to really live our student experience to the full. And to be honest with you, via all of these projects, we learned how to manage a company, because from managing the treasury, developing partnerships, communication, logistics, CSR, you know, sometimes very difficult next days as well, and managing all of our teams, which was probably the most complex task, we have gained a lot of experience, and all of that in an environment with a lot of competition, because if we're honest with ourselves, we all wanted to make sure that our association and our project would be the most desirable as possible for the school, the administration, but also with the first years who we wanted to recruit. And all of that in a very caring environment, of course. Now, that's led us to be more creative, to go further every day. And this creativity was stimulated when the crisis arrived, because remember, the generation that was struck by COVID was ours. We're the ones who created associations at the time. We were strong, we stayed together, we communicated, we reinvented ourselves, we digitalized, we reinvented our way of working so that we could keep up this level of student life that we wanted, and a life that suited us anyway, and a level that suited us. And we all experienced this in our own way, but what's for sure is that we have all come through this far stronger, and we are ready for our professional lives to come, but also our personal lives too. And to conclude, I would like to thank all of the people who contributed in writing this wonderful story, by starting with our parents for all of the tens of thousands of euros that they invested. They were not wasted. Obviously, all of you, the students without whom this wouldn't exist. Mr. Caron for his help with the Student Life Department. Mr. Mifredi for his unending help as well on an academic level. And then from a sports point of view, Mr. Stéphane Planck, who isn't here today, unfortunately, but I would like to mention him, and I probably spoke to him more than I spoke to my mother over the last 4 years. I do apologize, Mum. And then finally, thank you, EDHEC, for having enabled us to experience something that was unforgettable. So I look forward to seeing you this evening in Lille to celebrate these 4 years. And, you know, come with us, all of you who are at Nice. We'll show you how we celebrate here in Lille.
I will say 2 or 3 words. I will say 2 or 3 words before you. Notre second
Our second student today is Georgios Valsamis, who also fully deserves this award. Georgios was part of our very first English track class. And at the time, there were very few non-French speaking students, even though almost all of the students on this track had an international profile. We're extremely proud that he chose to join our school in a foreign country where he didn't speak the language. And yet, even though he didn't speak French, he integrated perfectly and played a major role in the smooth running of our program, as he volunteered, if you remember, and was elected to take on the all-important role of delegate for this course. He has contributed enormously to ensuring that everything runs smoothly, serving as a permanent link between the school's administration and all of our students. And through his comments and his suggestions, he's helped us to further improve the operation of the English track. And we'd like to take this opportunity to thank him. Thank you, Georgios. Thank you.
Dear professors, proud parents, esteemed guests, and my remarkable fellow graduates, I'm not here to tell stories of solitary achievements, but I'm here to reflect on our collective journey at EDHEC, a journey filled with commitment, innovation, and impact, the very values that supported us during challenging times. Let's talk about commitment. It wasn't just about the deadlines, the exams, or the projects. It was about the little study groups we formed, the shared notes, and the encouragement we offered each other when things got tough. It was about the friendships that replaced competition and the shared smiles that eased the stress. On to innovation, and no, I'm not talking about the creative ways we found to stretch the budget. It's about the fresh perspectives we brought to the table, the unconventional solutions to conventional problems, and the unique blend of cultures that fostered new ideas. It's about the resilience to adapt, learn, and grow in a changing world. And then there's impact. We didn't just aim for grades, we aimed for change. This little community we built, the sustainable initiatives we took, and the voices we raised for what we believed in, the impact we made wasn't measured by awards, but by the lives we touched, the small differences we made, and the legacy we leave behind as we step out of EDHEC. Thank you.
To address some words to the students of the Global Business track, but just before I do, I would like to call on stage with me Nathalie Chaillet, Program Coordinator. So, dear students of the Global Business track, very soon alumni of EDHEC, you are here after 3 years abroad after your first year in Nice, in different countries in which you studied at partner universities or undertook internships. We trust that these 4 years of studies have been challenging and enriching. All those classes in marketing, in finance, human resources, economics, to name but a few. But also the business games, the projects, the teamwork that our great professors made you attend. Yes, The package is now complete, and you are graduating soon. You are one of the classes that lived through the pandemic and had to adapt. Change of plans, distance learning, isolation with family, and restricted circles of friends. It was tough, but undoubtedly formative. And this unique experience will be part of you for the rest of your lives. We said 4 years ago when you started, when you were in your classrooms for the first time, that time would go by quickly, and I think we can safely say it has, and this despite the pandemic. I also have a special mention today for my colleagues, country managers, Joyce Cuff and Patricia Weinand, who are here with us today, and whose work is precious in supporting our students when they are abroad studying with our partner universities. And of course, Nathalie, who I just mentioned, who has followed you through the 4th years of your paths. Now today you have come full circle in your BBA program, and you are well equipped to follow your next professional and personal journeys. Remember that your classmates, the friends and contacts that you've made in the last 4 years are there for life. Nurture them. Stay open-minded. This is one of the main traits and habits that we aim to instill in our students and graduates, especially when your path has been so international. We are very proud of you and what you have achieved. And of course, we have great expectations of what you will be achieving in the next years and the next decades. The next part of your journey starts here. And remember that you are part of a large network and community of EDHEC alumni around the world. So contribute to making that network ever more international. And now I have the pleasure of calling to the stage the EDHEC Student Award, Engagement Award winner for the Global Business Track, Bethel Mubiru Luanga. A few words about Bethel, whom clearly the whole cohort knows very well. Bethel has been an exemplary student academically, but also a delight as a person to have in the program, and a valuable and highly appreciated member of her class. Bethel has been highly committed and engaged to EDHEC and its values, including strong involvement in charitable activities and associations. Bethel, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to thank EDHEC for giving me the Student Engagement Award. I'm truly humbled and grateful that you have chosen to recognize me in this way. And yeah, so engagement to me means showing up. When things get difficult, we show up. When things are great, we show up. And I believe that's something that all of us have done today to be sitting here. We've all committed to this university journey, regardless of the circumstances, whether that's a global pandemic or simply just coming to class with the attitude to learn every day. Whether that is being a good friend or whether that is studying for exams, we've all shown up in our own small ways. And I hope that we can continue to do this as we go forward in our journeys. Over the past 4 years, I've been given the opportunity to travel the world, whether that's here in France or Singapore or UCLA in America online, and engage and learn with people from all over the world and from all walks of life, and learn with them. I'm so happy to be part of a school and a student body that allows us to have room to grow and experience life and the world around us. And for that, I'd like to give the following thank yous. First, I'd like to thank the Global Group for your amazing friendship in these past 4 years. I would also like to thank the EDHEC, NTU, and UCLA Extension staff, lecturers, and administrative team for all your hard work and dedication. Without you, this school wouldn't run. I would also like to thank my parents and my sisters as well. I'd like to thank you for all your love and your support. I honestly wouldn't have been able to do it without you. And lastly, I would like to say a big congratulations to all of you who are sitting here today graduating. This is such a huge achievement, and I wish all of you the best in all of your future endeavors. And thank you once again for this award. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your parents weren't the only people to have helped you during your studies. It was also the aim of your teachers and also your lecturers, who were very keen to pass on their knowledge to you, but also all of the administrative staff. A number of them have made a point of being with us today, and I'm therefore going to ask all of our teachers, all of our lecturers, and all of the administrative staff to come and join us on the stage. Don't hide, everyone, dear colleagues. Make sure that everybody can see you. Now, Mariva, it seems to me that you'd like to say a few words to our former students and future graduates on behalf of all of the teachers and all of the staff who've supported them through their years of study at EDHEC. So, dear students, we're here. Welcome to your graduation ceremony. I can imagine that you're all lost for words, but excited as well to see each other again after these few months of absence, but also impatient to start the next chapter of your lives as young graduates. Now, today we're celebrating your success from an academic point of view, but we're also celebrating the personal accomplishment that you have, because these years of study have also been a synonym of work, investment, effort, perseverance, and also sometimes doubts, but also questions. But you did it. Well done to all of you.
Impossible.
It really is impossible to summarize in just a few words these 4 years where you have learned so much. You've had so many human adventures, both in terms of your professional expectations, but all of the teams here in EDHEC have always done their best to support you, encourage you, and to help you on a daily basis. On the campus here in Lille, on the campus in Nice, with your academic exchanges, your internships. We were there. We've been by your side. And look at the adults that you've become. Look at the knowledge and skills that you have developed. Look at the experiences that you have had. What a journey since your very first General Assembly. And now, you'd say to yourselves, maybe, your EDHEC diploma, that BBA in your pockets. It's the eve before you start your career. Some of you are going to continue with your studies, maybe. Some of you are going to go out into the job market, or some of you are going to maybe explore new horizons. The future is full of promises, but don't forget that each and every one of you, and all together as a group, you are going to embody the future, which is going to enable our society to move forward with peace of mind. Today, more than ever, be actors for change, because our planet will only become what you want to make of it. So beyond obviously wishing you the very best for the future and a wonderful professional career with a lot of personal success as well and fulfillment, I would like you to make the choices that will have an impact on the world, but create a positive impact, a sustainable impact, a human impact that respects the environment. Be ambitious, dare, excel, innovate, but remain open to the world. Stay loyal to your values, because knowledge and success are nothing without ethics. Don't forget either that you have to accomplish and fulfill all of your dreams, all of your wildest projects, because they will give meaning to your lives. And whatever your next stage may be, you can be sure that you can always count on EDHEC. Congratulations to you all. We really are proud of you, proud of what you have become. No quotations for me. I would just like to say, well done. Thank you very much for your commitment. And now I'd like to invite you to return to your seats. Thank you very much. I'd like to call upon Sabine Corouble so that she can say a few words to you on behalf of the EDHEC Foundation. I'm also very moved to stand here before you today because it's the last stage of your journey and the very first one of another to come. It's also a first for me that the foundation is able to speak at such a magnificent event. It's the first time that we've done this, and we're creating a whole new ritual. Today I'm going to talk to you about giving. Yes, giving. While you financed very expensive studies, and many of you are continuing to do so, and with or without the help of your parents or your grandparents, by getting yourself into debt, making sacrifices. So maybe I'm putting my foot in it a little bit by talking about money, but not really probably, because giving is receiving. Receiving and benefiting from high-impact initiatives that have been made possible by the generosity of graduates, parents, companies, and foundations. This year, donations have enabled us to accelerate social and international diversity by helping students from modest backgrounds through grants, which since last year have financed from 20 to 75% of their tuition fees. There are also exceptional solidarity grants as well for our students who are in difficulty. And we're also developing entrepreneurship with the opening of Station F Incubator and 100 jobs which have been financed in part by alumni. This year, donations totaled 3.3 million euros, with 6 million euros pledged for future years by 600 donors and 200 other people, which has enabled us to finance 200 scholarships called EDHEC for All. So thank you very much to all those who've donated. Now, giving is a journey, and EDHEC wants to take you on one, first of all, towards joy, because giving will always make you feel happy. It will give meaning. Giving a hand, giving confidence, giving a roof over your head, giving your word, giving life, giving your breast, giving your heart, giving your body, giving your time, giving a future. Giving is a journey. It's for life. And you'll find the right moment, the right pace, the right amount. It's up to you to decide. Now, it can happen now, or it could happen in 25 years' time. The hardest part is making the first donation. And once you get into the swing of things, once the momentum starts, it's very powerful, and it's truly a beautiful thing. Now, you can even give for yourself. Giving is important for the school's reputation and for the beneficiaries, because giving changes lives. Goethe, the German poet, said, "Do you want to live happily? If you do, travel with 2 bags, one to give and the other to receive." I'd like to wish you all a wonderful journey with your diploma in your pocket. Don't forget to take 2 bags with you. Congratulations on your studies, and thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sabine, and obviously thank you very much to the Foundation. It's a tradition for our graduating classes to be associated with the presence of a guest of honor. We were obliged to make a few cuts to his CV, given the breadth of his experience, and I hope he won't mind. First and foremost, he is a graduate of one of the best bachelor programs in France and Europe, because he was one of the first graduates of the BBA in 1995, and he was top of his class in finance. Like many of our graduates, he's chosen to pursue an international career, working in nearly 20 different countries. He was a former president of EDHEC Alumni for 7 years, former CEO of Atos Belgium and Luxembourg. He's now Senior Vice President of the Atos Group, and still a very committed member of the committees appointed by Madame Borne. He is still committed to our school. He's a donor and founding member of the Impact Scholarships in EDHEC. And last but not least, he is a father again. He had another baby on the 18th of July of this year. I'd like to call our guest of honor, with great pleasure, Mr. Antoine Kérinx.
Merci. Mais avant tout, bravo.
Thank you very much, and above all, well done to all of you. Now, I love this stage. It's a little bit difficult to give me this with a microphone, but I'll try and use it well. Now, it's true that it might seem like a long CV, but first of all, I would like to say a few words to all of our guests who've been following us via the simultaneous translation.
We are using the translation headsets to follow this session. I've been invited a few days ago to share my speech. Unfortunately, I just do freestyle, so I had nothing to share. So I'm really sure they will do their best to follow and to give you the best translation as possible. Thank you for them, they are the best.
Having said that, now I've got to talk to you a little bit about what's been happening since when I was in your shoes, when I was sitting where you're sitting, when I was there in this room receiving my diploma. Now, obviously, there were less people back in the day. And when I joined the BBA, it was in 1991. We didn't yet have anyone graduating. And so there were a lot of expectations, and there was a weight on our shoulders, and there were 120 of us who actually graduated in 1995. But I think that the experience that you've had is not so different to the experience that we had as well back then, and I think it's an extraordinary one. And I think that you'll have the opportunity to realize this throughout your careers and in all of the experiences that you're going to have very soon. Because if you pursue the same objective, and if so many of you do it all together for 4 years, I think it's something that's quite extraordinary. It's something which really does have an impact of you. It's going to bring you closer. It's going to become part of your DNA. It's going to be one of those things that's going to mean that you will be undivided in the future. Now, I don't know who said that maybe you're sitting next to your future husband or wife or your future witness at your wedding, or maybe the godson or somebody who will look after your children. Now, not so long ago, I wrote to 5 students who had gone away with me on a university exchange in 1993, and we were celebrating these 30 years of our internship. And we went to New York, and during the team there were 5 of us, and one of them has stayed my best friend, and he was there for my wedding. He was my best man twice. He's also the godfather of my children. 2 of them are here with us. The others, couldn't be here. One of my children's only 10 months old, so he couldn't come, but he's already met the board of the group during the first Teams meeting. So when we say that EDHEC really is in the DNA of the family, it's true. Now, they're lucky. It's their 2nd graduation ceremony, so they've already had one more than you. So you have a long journey ahead of you, and I'd like to talk about it a little bit. And now I'm going to try not to mention too many cliches that you've seen everywhere. I'm not going to explain that if to succeed your life, you have to know how to make your bed. It's interesting, but I won't be able to talk about it for ages. But there are some things which I think are really important, and I'd like to talk to you about artificial intelligence. Well, I'd maybe like to talk to you about what artificial intelligence can't do and what it won't provide you with. And what's more important than that, it's the relationship and the people that you're going to meet, and what's going to make your successful the success of your journey or your career, and what's going to ensure that you have different journeys from each other is quite probably the fact that you're going to meet different people along the way. The men and women who are going to inspire you, who are going to give you their knowledge, who are going to pass on a desire and an energy, who are going to put you in difficulty and make you think about yourselves, to see things differently so that you'll go away and help you when things are becoming more difficult. And there are some of them that I'd like to mention here very quickly. There are 2 who are professors here at EDHEC and the BBA back in the day. The first one, who I met on the first day of my very first lesson, and he was the director of the BBA program at the time. He was called Joël Le Soin. He was in charge of accounting. He was an accounting professor, and as I wanted to be an artist and I preferred marketing, so you can imagine that accounting wasn't necessarily up my street. It wasn't what I paid the most attention to, and I went along, but it didn't mean that I couldn't have a career in finance afterwards. But he taught me in 4 words, or 2 words, repeated twice, the main basic principle of accounting, which I've used my whole life when I was a financial director. And it's people like that who are able to give you that knowledge, the tips, the things that are going to mean that the subject is going to become easy for you and you're going to be able to exceed your wildest dreams. Another EDHEC professor, Régis de Moulin, he was a professor of financial controlling, and he had what they called the N case back in the time, and I love the exercise, and I wrote my thesis on it at the end of my studies, and that's where there was a real revelation. I could see that something was happening between that subject and my way of thinking, my way of interacting with finance, financial controllers, etc. I met other people afterwards because I went abroad, and I only wanted one thing. I wanted to stay in the north of France. I come from here, I wanted to stay in Lille, stay in the north. And then I thought, back in the day, we had to do our military service. And I would invite you all, for those of you who can, think about how you can have an international career which will open the doors to management functions in major groups. And I wanted to go to Belgium, and I was sent to Spain for my voluntary service. And there was a competition between Lille and Nice and between Belgium and Spain. It was exactly the same competition. And I met people. And I met people who made me feel uncomfortable, people who explained that I wasn't doing things well, because they had expectations that I hadn't understood yet. And rather than saying, okay, they're criticizing me, they're not happy, things aren't going well, I'm not going to listen, or I'm going to say, okay, I've got to find another manager because he doesn't like me, I think it's very important at those times to put yourself in the other person's shoes, to try and understand what the other's expectations are, what the manager expects, what the people expect with whom you're going to be interacting in a company. It's fundamental. It's fundamental to be able to change your way of doing things, change your way of thinking. And once you've understood how you can better serve a company, better serve other people, then you're going to become exceptional. I've met others, so many others, in other business sectors, people who've joined the French team who went to the World Cup where we beat the All Blacks. It was the Elephant Polo World Championships. Can you imagine? There are so many things in life that are mad like that. We really did beat the All Blacks. You can have a look at the Bangkok Post of the time where we even sang the Marseillaise. Having said that, though, there are a few tips and tricks that I've got to give you in addition to that, because we have expectations too. Our expectations are that you should contribute to improving the resilience of the world, the resilience of humanity and of businesses in general. There aren't only startups, there are lots of international groups who are doing extraordinary things, who have phenomenal resources, who can provide innovation, engineering, so that they can transform and create things which are going to mean that the world will be better. And that's where you will have an impact. You'll use your skills, your qualities, and give them to those companies to use. Now, earlier on, we were talking about quotations. I think there's a bit of a quotations battle here today, isn't there? I wanted to use one to describe what awaits you, and I think it's something important. We can only wish you happiness, and happiness isn't an aim, even less a career or an obligation, but something that is given to you free. It's a surprise, and the reward for those who don't spend their time cultivating it. Happiness is not a narcissistic exercise. It's not a solitary exercise. It comes by chance. It hits you on the head and in the heart of those who, without looking after themselves, look after something else and especially look after others. And this was written by Jean d'Ormesson. Now, in the tips and tricks that I said I was going to share with you, if I've got a few minutes, there are one or two which are very important. In companies and in the type of role that you're going to be playing, you're going to be encountering situations where you don't agree. And I'd like to invite you to very often accept them and say yes before you say no. Because when you say yes, you're helping the people who've got to make decisions with you so that you can think in the same way as them, so that you can sow seeds of the message you're going to try and get across so that you can change things. If you want to confront people, then you start closing doors. And so you've probably encountered situations like this, I'm convinced, in your internships, in companies where you've already had the opportunity to contribute, maybe sometimes in your lessons, where you've wanted to say no and say, that's not how I see things and I don't want to do things like that. I would invite you to say yes, so that you can then try and convince and change things from the inside. And then a second tip, a last one maybe, try to find the field in which you are excellent, in which you are different to other people. You have got to have that factor that makes you different. Because you're lucky, you've come to a school where even when you started, you were all different. And at the end now, you're still all different. And I think that is a real strength, and that's what is so rich about this program. You're able to preserve your individual qualities and differences. So try and find the field in which you do things far better than anybody else, and say to yourself, okay, I'm going to do that better than everyone else, because you're going to seize opportunities in your careers and with all the different people you're going to meet, and you'll be able to say, that job, I want it because I'm going to do better than him, better than my neighbor. I really would invite you to think about these qualities and think about what fills you with passion, because if you do things better, it means you're going to work hard, you're going to work longer, you're going to do it with so much energy. It's got to be your passion. Embrace it, multiply it, and make sure that it can be there to serve the company. Now, all that remains for me to do now is to wish you an excellent career. Enjoy the rest of the ceremony, of course. Very soon you're going to be graduates, and so there's a tradition which we had when I was the president of the alumni, which from time to time was to make a little film. So I'm going to need you. I'm going to need your help. Okay. Nearly 3,000 following either here or online. I would like to call upon all of the EDHEC BBA 2023 to make some noise.
Je vous les rends.
Okay. And it's back to you. Thank you very much, Antoine. Thank you very much for that inspiring speech. And so if you'd like to come and join me for the next part of the ceremony, which concerns how we honor all of the majors.
Et j'appelle de nouveau à mes côtés.
And I'd like to call upon Bernard Clossier, Jean-Christophe Meffredi, Laurence Meffredi, and Valentina.
So for this next sequence, the first student I'm going to call is the top student of the Global Business track, Mélanie Hervé.
Nous passons maintenant au parcours.
Now let's move on to the business management track. And first, what I'd like to call Isabelle Marie, Director of the Strategy, Entrepreneurship and Operations Faculty, and Louise Rouleau, Head of the Entrepreneurship Horizon at Lille. I would now like to call upon Pascal Tadei and the Major of Horizon Direction, Finance, Audit and Management Control, Virginie Viguet-Carin. And for International Business Track on the Lille campus, I'd like to welcome Elie Salomé, who Director of the Faculty of Law and Accounting, and the Major Louis Bruegel. I'd now like to call upon Patrick Languet and the Major of Entrepreneurship and Corporate Development in the Nice campus, Mr. Clément Elino, major in Entrepreneurship and Business Development at the Nice campus. For my part, I'd like to call Frédéric Herbin to the stage to present not one, but two major prizes for the regular track apprenticeship programme. It's the very first time that two students have obtained exactly the same average to the nearest 100th, Margot Détresse and Lou Elsie Muriel Irier.
Le professeur Elie.
I'd now like to call upon the major of the international business track for Nice, Mr. Yuri Menu. I'd like to call upon Professor Martin Shaw, Deputy Director of the Faculty of Marketing, and Maya Lefort, Major in Retail and Distribution Management.
N'hésitez pas à vous placer devant.
Le professeur Patrick.
Professor Patrick Longuet is with us. I'd like to call upon Kia Polak, Major of Horizon Hospitality and Event Management. For the Audit and Financial Management section, I'd like to call Professor Gilles Collet, Deputy Director of the Faculty of Law and Accounting, and the major in this section, Joséphine Gouget. I'd like to call upon Professor Loïc Monviel and the Major of Horizon E-Commerce and Digital Business, Mr. Theo Rossi. For apprenticeship, I'd like to call upon Professor Sabine Ruot and the major of this track, Eva Ruff.
J'appelle la
I'd now like to call upon Professor Marie-Catherine Mars and the major for Horizon 360 Communication and Digital Media, Miss Erin Bouvet. Now I'd like to turn to marketing intelligence and innovation, and I'd like to call upon Professor Etienne Denis and the major for this horizon, Léa Garçon. I'd now like to call upon Professor David Dalmasso and the major for corporate finance and financial markets, Paul de Pelgar-Malalty. I would now like to invite for the corporate and investment banking horizon one of the founders, Fabrice Guez, if you'd like to come up onto the stage, and the major, Mattia Alberti.
Marie-Catherine Mars.
Marie-Catherine is already with us. I'd like to call up for the major of luxury, that's Louise Caval.
Alors,
Okay, so now a bit emotional here. We're going to move on to the major of this promotion of this year.
peut-être précisons.
Maybe, Jean-Christophe, let's clarify what we mean. Now, a valedictorian is not the major of the major or the fourth year. It's the best student for the whole of the program. And obviously, this trophy is going to be done for each of the tracks. Now, for Nice, do you have an idea who the valedictorian was or is? Well, that's not what I've got on my program. Now, given the average throughout the entire program, the valedictorian for the business management program for the Nice campus is Miss Virginie Viguet-Carin.
Félicitations.
Congratulations.
Alors, pour ma part,
Now, as far as I'm concerned, we won't have to go far because he's already with us. For the business management program at the Lille campus, I'd like to call upon Mattia Alberti. And now we're going to take a photo with everyone together. So, including all of the members of faculty.
peut-être se mélanger. Bravo, merci à tous. Merci.
Merci à tous.
Thank you very much to all and congratulations to all of our students. And I invite you all to return to your seats. And now we're going to move on to the EDHEC Pledge. Now, being a member of the EDHEC alumni means that we are part of our tradition. We share the aspirations and also the commitments of EDHEC, and we embrace the values. And these are all summarized in a key document, which is called the Pledge of Loyalty, which is the symbol of your diploma and the fundamental values that your school would like you to take away with you and personify and embody. And in order to do this, I'd like to call upon Jean-Paul Chacour, who is going to read the pledge.
So most of us got our little bags with the pledge inside, so I would love it if everybody could take it out. Maybe we could read it together as I recite the pledge. I'll give you a few seconds there. Okay, I guess it's time. As a proud EDHEC graduate, I pledge that I will develop and use my knowledge and skills to make a positive, real impact on society. I will apply my curiosity, my capacity for boldness, and my entrepreneurial spirit to innovate and change practices for the better. I will seek to inspire others by acting with integrity and in a responsible and ethical manner. I will use my EDHEC experience to promote new ways of living and working together in a climate of caring and trust, and which respect equality and inclusiveness. As an EDHEC graduate, I will apply the school's values of engagement, open-mindedness, and creativity to make the world around me a better place and to serve future generations. Now, this is not part of the pledge, but since there is a citation battle going on tonight, there is a quote that I've always lived by and that actually helped me in my decision to enroll in this business school. Jean-Paul Sartre says, "Your existence precedes your essence." EDHEC encourages us all to make an impact. They empower us to do it. And I'm telling you, as our blank sheet of paper is sitting right in front of us, it's time to define our essence. It's time to make an impact. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean-Paul. Et maintenant, avant
And now, before I welcome all of our students who are going to be coming up by horizon and by specialization, we're going to watch a video prepared by the school.
Nous allons passer maintenant à la mise à l'honneur.
We are now going to give the diplomas to all of our students in their different programs and specializations, and we're going to be starting with global business.
Come over to the stage. Yeah, you can take your, to the side of the stage.
Alors, un parcours qui est
Now, a program which isn't very well known, but which is worth 99% of international medals that our students bring us. I'd like to call upon all of the students who could come from the BBA EDHEC online. And this is for students who are unable to follow a face-to-face course, entrepreneurs, top-level sports students. If you like rugby, we have got a rugby student playing for the French team. For the last 2 weeks, we've had French champions, European champions, world champions. These students are real fighters. 2 projects in their lives, their studies plus sport.
Et nous débutons à nouveau.
And now we will start for business management in Lille with the entrepreneurship section. I'd like to call upon Isabelle Marie and all of the students to join us from this specialization.
Installer face à la salle pour la petite photo traditionnelle. Pardon, vas-y Isabelle. Non, vas-y. Merci à tous, on vous laisse regagner vos places.
J'appelle le professeur.
Now I'd like to call upon Professor Pascal Teddy and all of the students from finance and financial controllers from Nice. So that was Pascal Teddy with Financial Management Audit and Management Control in Nice.
Merci.
For International Business Track on the campus of Lille, I'd like to call upon Elie Salamé and all of the students.
Merci à tous. J'appelle.
I'd now like to call upon Professor Patrick Longuet and all of the students from the Entrepreneurship and Corporate Development program in Nice.
J'appelle à nouveau.
I'd like to call upon Frédéric Herbin and all of the students from the Regular Track Apprenticeship Programme.
Merci à tous.
Thank you very much to all of you. Now I'd like to call upon Professor Elie Salamé and all of the students from the International Business Track in Nice.
J'appelle tous les...
Now, all of the students from the Retail and Distribution Horizon with Martin Chauve.
Merci à tous. J'appelle le...
I'd now like to call upon Professor Patrick Languet and all of the students from Hospitality and Event Management.
C'est au tour de l'ensemble de tous les...
Now, all of the students from the Audit and Financial Management Horizon with Gilles Collet, if you'd like to come up onto the stage.
Merci à tous. J'appelle le professeur...
Now I'd like to call upon Professor Loïc Manvier and all of the students from E-Commerce and Digital Horizon. Now I'd like to call upon Sabine Rouault so that she can welcome all of the students from the Retail Management and E-Business Apprenticeship Programme.
Vous allez bien? Ça va? Merci à tous.
J'appelle
I'd like to call upon Professor Marie-Catherine Mars and all of the students from the Communication Strategies 360 and Digitalized Media Horizon in Nice.
J'appelle à nouveau le professeur Étienne Denis.
I'd now like to call upon Professor Étienne Denis and all of the students from Marketing Intelligence and Innovation.
Merci. Non.
J'appelle
I'd now like to call upon Professor David Dalmasso and all of the students from Corporate Finance and Financial Markets Horizon.
Hervé.
Now, this is the challenge, Hervé. I'd like to call upon Fabrice Guez and all of the students from corporate and investment.
ça. Oui, c'est...
attention. Merci à tous.
So thank you to everyone.
Et nous allons clore.
And we're going to close this part of the ceremony with Marie-Catherine Mars and all of the students who studied for the Luxury Horizon.
Alessia.
Alessia and Jean-Christophe, we have soon come to the end of this ceremony. Thank you very much to everyone. Thank you to our students who have been absolutely fantastic, and you all looked wonderful. Thank you to the parents, to the teachers. Thank you to all of the teams. And a last message that we'd like to give to our students, you know, enjoy your lives. A long, enjoyable life to you all. And yet again, congratulations to you all. Congratulations to all of our graduates. Congratulations to the parents who have given us their children, and we look forward to seeing you afterwards at the cocktail party. But first, an EDHEC celebration wouldn't be complete without the traditional pom-pom ceremony. To officially mark the end of your studies with us. So, to guide you through this passage, and before we see each other at the cocktail party, I'd like to invite Martin Barbier, EDHEC Alumni Director and our guest of honor, Antoine Kerinck, to join me on the stage. Okay. A warm welcome to your alumni community. Now, before you join it as a graduate, there is the ritual, which is to turn our tassels. It might sound a little bit futile, but it really is a rite of passage, and it therefore requires a little bit of, you have to be solemn, but full of energy. Now, are you ready, everyone? So, Antoine, without the video maybe, but with your hearts, are you ready, everyone? Everybody ready? Now, are you ready? Are you ready? Not bad. Okay, I'll leave them with you there ready. Okay, I'm going to ask each of you, you all have a tassel, to wear the tassel on your right side. So there are 3 stages, you've got to follow them. Antoine's going to check so that the photo at the end will be great. So this rite of passage symbolizes your graduation, so it's really important for you and really important for your families. So you all have your tassels on the right. Everybody on the right? Okay. So you're now slowly going to turn your tassel slowly from the right to the left, and this is the actual symbol of your graduation. Well done, graduates. BBA Graduation 2023. Now, so that we can really celebrate, we're going to invite everyone to throw their mortarboards after the countdown. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. You can all throw your mortarboards in the air at the same time, okay? In unison. So, Antoine, all together with the families. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! If you could all give your headsets in as you leave the room, please. So give your headsets in at the back of the room as you leave. Thank you very much.